RonSiegelRadio.com.
RonSiegelRadio.tv.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Travis Winfield is in the house.
What's up, Ron?
Glad to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, buddy, as always.
Yeah, I've got a lot of announcements coming from Travis today, but let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day. It is National French Dip Day. Okay, I can go with that. You know, I'm on this weight loss journey. Hey, by the way, I can actually finally say it. 101 pounds was the number that I got as of last Saturday. Yahoo! Yeah. Yahoo! I mean, that's enough. That's enough. So it's, you know, you're not eating a lot of French dips when you're losing 101 pounds. Although some people do refer to me as a dip. But that's a whole different story. We won't go there. Some people will be writing in, especially after they hear what I have to say today. You know, we get a lot of interesting commentary, but we're going to talk a lot about that. It's also National Pizza with the Works. Now, I'm going to go because I am the host of the show. So I will say that, you know, something, I can go with the works, except anchovies. No jalapenos for me. Yes, I am a wimp. I admit it. Let's see what the markets are doing, because I got to talk to you about the markets today. So I am looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Whoa, that's up 429 points. I think it was up 550 yesterday. Guess that likes what's going on in the economy. Don't tell that to the Democrats. The NASDAQ is down 127 points. The S&P 500 is down 5. Oil, whoa, oil's down $2.40 a barrel. Now, most of the country is probably celebrating the idea that oil's down $2.40 a barrel. In California, so I was out of town over the weekend, and yes, I'm not a veteran. Our friend Travis is. I'm not a veteran, though. But I did take Veterans Day off. Not really. I was actually doing, you know, I guess I could, anything in the world would have been better than what I was doing on Veterans Day. So I was actually finishing up my continuing education. Yeah, that's painful, but, you know, you got to do it once a year, whether you want to or not. The government doesn't care. The state regulators don't care. We just have to do it. But I did notice when I drove out of town on Thursday, after the broadcast Thursday, I went out of town. Gas prices here in Orange County, over $5 a gallon of gasoline. over $5, yet the price of the national is down to $3.07.5 is the national price of a gallon of gasoline. So thanks, Gavin. I know you're busy out there trying to think you're president. You'll never be president. But you're trying to think you are out there in Brazil, where they just cut down hundreds of trees so the private planes and the global climate activists could all go to a summit in Brazil. Now let's think about that. You cut down hundreds of trees so that you can go to a global warming summit. Does that make sense to anybody, or am I just the only one that says these guys are
Such an idiot.
Yes, they are
Such an
idiots. $4.70 a gallon is the average for the California. We are the highest price in the country as usual. Washington, $4.21, the state of Washington. They're second, well, Hawaii. They don't even make gas or produce gas or refine gas in Hawaii, and they're still 20 cents a gallon cheaper than we are in California. They got to put it on a boat, uses fuel, and it's, yeah, thanks, Gavin. And you want to do to the rest of the country what you've done to California. I wonder if the rest of the country is wiser than California voters. And yes, I am a California voter, so I do say that in all sincerity. But let's get on. Josh, I want to go off script today because this is important. We're going to talk today about something that's all over the headlines, and you need to know the truth. So I am going to be the one to tell you the truth, which is what I do all the time on Ron Siegel Radio. The 50-year mortgage, good, bad, ugly, what about it? Now, if you watch the headline for the broadcast, I put in there, save $453 a month or lose $648,000.
Yep.
What is the truth of it? So here we go. Mortgage 101. You probably heard the buzz about a 50-year mortgages. Lower monthly payments sound great, right? But here's the question nobody's asking. What's the trade-off? Because that lower payment comes with some serious costs, and let me break down the pros and cons. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Today, we're talking about this 50-year mortgage proposal that's making headlines. The White House and the Federal Housing Finance Agency are floating this idea to make monthly payments more affordable. But as I always say, strategy beats rate always, and the same goes for loan terms. So what exactly is a 50-year mortgage? Simple. Instead of paying off your home loan over 30 years, you'd stretch it to 50 years. Same loan amount, same over 2 more decades, or spread over 2 more decades. Now here's something important. A 50-year loan typically comes with a higher interest rate than a 30-year loan. But for our example today, I'm going to use the same interest rate, assuming that we buy down the rate, which can be done. This gives us an apples to apples comparison. Let me give you real numbers. On an $800,000 purchase price, 20% down, that's $640,000 loan amount at a rate of 6.25%. Your monthly principal and interest payment on a 30-year mortgage runs about $3,939. Stretch that out to 50 years at the same 6.25% rate. Remember, we bought it down. It drops to around $3,486. That's $453 less every month. Quick note. These examples are for educational purposes. We understand that any loan offer will require full APR disclosure that includes all costs. Are you happy, compliance people? Now, $453 a month sounds nice. That's $5,436 a year back in your pocket. But here's what doesn't change. You're still paying interest on that money. You're still building equity slowly, and you're still taking on market risk. The difference, you're doing it for 20 more years. Let's start with the advantage because there are some legitimate benefits to consider. First, improved cash flow. That $453 monthly savings helps with debt-to-income ratios. If you're right on the edge of qualifying, this could make the difference between getting approved or not. Second, it's a potential bridge. If you have a defined short-term cash flow constraint, this lower payment could help you get in now with a plan to restructure later. What kind of constraints? The expiration of alimony or child support in a divorce agreement, the payoff of student loans, the end of a car loan payment. These are temporary obligations that will drop off, freeing up cash flow for a refinance into a shorter term. The 50-year term gives you breathing room during that transition period. Third, flexibility. When used as part of a broader strategy, not the forever plan, it gives you more choices. You're not locked into this permanently. You can refinance when your situation improves. And fourth, the payment relief is real. That extra $453 a month could go toward paying down high interest credit cards, building an emergency fund, or handling other financial priorities that matter more right now than rapid equity build. We're creating some detailed examples of exactly how this works at rsrlinks.com/50year. That's 50-year. rsrlinks.com/50-year. So you can see the numbers play out in real scenarios. Now let's talk about the downside because they're significant. First, dramatically slower equity build. The 50-year amortization, your early payments go almost entirely to interest. On that $640,000 loan, after 5 years on a 30-year mortgage, you'd have paid down $47,000 in principal. On a 50-year, only about $26,000. That's a $21,000 difference in equity after just 5 years. After 10 years, the gap is even wider. You'd have around $104,000 in equity on the 30-year versus only $56,000 on the 50-year. That's nearly $50,000 in difference. Second, massive total interest cost. Over the full term, you'd pay roughly $815,000 in interest on a 50-year mortgage versus, I've got the numbers wrong in here. Wait till you look, they look the same. No, that's because 30 years stop. Oh, okay, I get it. $815,000 in interest on a 50-year mortgage versus $815,000 on a 30-year mortgage. Wait, those look the same. No, that's because the 30-year stops at 30 years. The 50-year, you'd pay an additional $648,000 over those extra 20 years. We're talking about paying more than your original loan amount in interest alone. Third, regulatory and availability. Right now, this does not exist. It would require major changes in underwriting guidelines and secondary market rules. So we're discussing a concept, not a current option. Fourth, the affordability illusion. Lower payments might tempt you to buy more house than you should. If you're stretching to afford $800,000 because the payment fits on a 50-year loan term, you might be taking on too much risk. So when does a 50-year mortgage actually make strategic sense? It makes sense when you have a clear exit plan, not hope, not maybe, but a defined refinance strategy with specific triggers. It makes sense when you value cash flow flexibility today more than rapid equity building. When that $453,000 monthly savings solves an immediate problem and you have a plan for using it productively. It makes sense when you're in a stable market and you know you won't be in that home for the full 50 years. The term becomes your safety net, not your plan. It makes sense when you intend to use the extra cash flow strategically, paying off high interest debt, building reserves, funding a business, not the new boat payment. And critically, it makes sense when you commit to monitoring and acting. When your income increases, you refinance. When a debt drops off, you shorten the term. When your home value rises enough, you restructure. On the flip side, when does it not make sense? It doesn't make sense when you plan to stay long-term, build wealth through equity. If this is your forever home and you're counting on that equity for retirement, the 50-year term works against you. It does not make sense when you have no exit strategy. If you're thinking lower payment is just better without any plan to change later, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And it doesn't make sense in a declining or stagnating market. Slower amortization means more risk if home values do not cooperate. It doesn't make sense when the interest rate premium for the 50-year term makes the payment savings trivial. If lenders charge a higher rate for the extended term, run the numbers carefully. That's what we do for you. And it doesn't make sense if you're using it to justify buying more house you can really afford. That's not strategy, that's risk. Here's how I'd approach this if it becomes available. First, run both scenarios side by side. Look at the 30-year and then the 50-year. Not just monthly payment, but equity build after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Total interest costs, break-even points. Yes, I did that for you, rsrlinks.com/50-year. Second, define your exit triggers up front. What has to happen for you to refinance out of the 50-year term? Income increase or of specific amount, debt payoff, home value reaching a certain point. Define it now. Third, evaluate it within your household blended interest rate. The 50-year mortgage isn't happening in isolation. How does it affect your overall debt strategy? What's the impact on your total household budget? Fourth, consider the opportunity cost. What else could you do with that $453 monthly savings? If you're using it to pay off a 22% credit card, smart strategy. If you're just increasing your lifestyle spending, stupid.
Such an idiot.
Yeah. And fifth, remember that strategy beats rate always. The term of your loan is a strategic choice. Make it intentionally, not accidentally. Bottom line, here's the bottom line on 50-year mortgages. It's another tool, not a silver bullet, not a disaster, a tool. Like any tool, it works well when used correctly and causes problems when misused. The key is knowing the difference. If you need a 50-year term just to afford the house, that's probably the wrong house. If you need it as a part of a deliberate strategy with clear milestones and a refinance plan, it might make sense. But don't fool yourself. That lower payment today comes at a real cost tomorrow. The question is whether that trade-off aligns with your bigger financial picture. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. If you want to understand your complete financial picture before making any housing decision, head over to rsrlinks.com/keysteps, rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's where you'll find our financial house in order tool, get your credit analyzed, understand your household blended interest rate, and build a strategy that actually works for your life. Because at the end of the day, strategy beats rate always, and that includes the term of your loan. That is Mortgage 101, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/Sora. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, military-operated real estate and a new book. More to read. You know, I'm going to have trouble with Travis today because I just finished 8 hours, actually 10 hours, 15 hours of continuing education. Last thing I want to do is read more. But when the talk comes to veterans, I'm all ears. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990 and every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual lock rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to figure out what your principal and interest payment will be. What did rates do yesterday? Not a darn thing. The market was closed yesterday. What did they do on Monday? Conventional 30-year fixed up 6.205. Jumbo 30-year fixed down 6.395. FHA 30-year fixed down 6.054. The best loan on the market. For those that earned it, the VA 30-year fixed, that was up 5.861. USDA 30-year fixed down 6.027. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of data here. If you want a lot to know about what's going on in the mortgage market, go to our community. We post it there, our thoughts every morning as early as the data allows. And yes, it's there already. rsrlinks.com/HBOD, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. But I will tell you, the 10-year treasury right now is down 6 basis points. That's a good one. That's its 4.06. The 30-year mortgage bond, that's up 25 basis points. That's good. Bond up, rates down. We like that. What's driving it? Real quick, I will tell you that it's being driven by, no, not the government shutdown or the government being reopened. The government is not reopened. The House of Representatives, you remember when we were kids? I don't think they do it anymore. How does a bill become a law? Yeah, you got to pass the House of Representatives. You have to pass the Senate, and the president must sign it. 1 out of 3 don't count. So the Senate passed their version. House passed a version. The Senate didn't like it, so they changed it. They passed their changes. Got to send it back to the House to vote on it. Hopefully they'll get that done today. And I don't know why, but Washington's a pretty small place. But it's going to take 2 days from it to get from the House of Representatives to the president's desk. Don't know why it takes 2 days for that, but it does. And then the president is expected to sign that on Friday. Maybe it's because he wants to get all the TVs in there. You know how the president is. But what's driving some of the things today is bad news on the employment front. So ADP came out with their weekly report, and they said that not only are we not gaining any jobs, we're losing about 11,500 jobs a week, and that's their numbers for the last 4 weeks that they collected data, which is about 2 weeks old. ADP, private company, they are still collecting all their data. So 11,500 4 weeks, the 1 plus, it's about 46,000 jobs lost in that monthly period. So when they go to do that jobs report, when we ever get it, it's not going to look good. That's the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. So we do have our favorite military trainer is in the house. Travis Winfield is with us. Welcome, sir, and thank you for your service.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. Just off the heels of Veterans Day, man. So
yeah,
I appreciate you having me.
Was that 23 years in the Navy? Is that right?
24, yeah.
24 years in the Navy.
Yeah, retired 9 years ago, though, so time flies.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got basically 2 careers down.
I've technically retired twice. I retired from the Navy 9 years ago, and then I retired from my real estate day-to-day and turned over my the Winfield Group to my son last year. So I've technically retired twice, but, can't keep a good man down, and so I'm launching my new book and my new company now.
So what I want to know is when you turn the Winfield Group over to your son, does he always get an earful?
No, what can I say, man? I'm blessed, man. His name's Sebastian Winfield. So what better than to have another person take over the Winfield who has the name? But dude, he's on track to destroy my best years in real estate.
Nice.
And I have zero to do with it. And, they always say there's only one people in the world that you want to do better than you truly in your heart. And that's your kids. So absolutely. I could not be more proud.
That's awesome. It's good. I'm glad to hear that. And it's, it's interesting because what you're saying, and I know the military background that you have ties in exactly with what I was talking about with the 50-year mortgage. You have to have that plan, the strategy. And I'm sure that you didn't go in and just say, okay, I'm going to turn this over to my son. Boom, done. There was probably a plan that you and he put together.
You would think. That'd be the smart thing, Ron, but it's actually that's a quick, funny story. We actually, both me and my son shared the stage in Denver at a real estate conference, actually 2 weeks ago. And it was the first time he was on stage, and he literally started his speech with, and this is a true story. He started by going, how would you like to be sitting in your office, running the team with your dad? And all of a sudden he walks in and says, sorry, son, it's all yours. I'm done. Talk to you later. Let me know how it goes. And that is kind of the way it went. It was one of those things that I just walked in one day and I just felt it was the right time and he was ready. And I kind of just shoved him out of the nest and into the deep end of the pool. And what can I say? He took flight.
I get it, but even that, you when you groom him for the years, knowing you as I do, I can't believe that you would have taken that path if you didn't have a total confidence that he could succeed.
That's exactly it. Like, he had been with me and through his journey, he literally, I've made him do every part of the job, and he was the only one that needed to have confidence in himself. So all I did literally was just push him out of the nest and let him fly. And he did.
And you knew he could.
And I knew he could. I absolutely knew he could. I had
Yeah.
the confidence, and now he has the confidence, and now he's crushing it.
That's so exciting. And I can tell you as a father as well, that's all you ever really want,
Mhm.
right? So what are you up to now? I mean, I know you well enough. You're not sitting on the beach in Puerto Vallarta
Nope.
or something.
No. As you know, I've had this vision in my head to build a national military-focused real estate brand for about a decade. And it's kind of funny. During we graduated our first cadre of more certified agents, which is the people that were all the agents around the country goes through our certification.
Okay, what does a more certified agent mean?
So
Though?
more stands for military operated real estate. That's the name of our company.
Okay.
So that's, of course, we're in the military, so we use acronyms for everything. So
Yeah, if you don't have an acronym, if you're not in the military.
that's true. That's true. So more is an acronym. Our tagline is expect more from your agent. So you can see where their play is there. And so all of our agents go through our certification. So we're basically a certification training company and a lead company under one umbrella. So that what we're doing is we basically go through, we train our agents to be the absolute best agents possible, because there's no real standardized training once you get your license in real estate.
Yeah, and there's no real training even getting a license.
Exactly.
But 90
exactly.
days, take a test, memorize a few questions that are going to be verbatim on the test. If you can remember, put C here.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we've done is we've created this very robust training program. So you first have to verify you're military affiliated. Then you have to go through about 25 hours of very robust training. It's not a click-through course, 100 question thing to pass. And then that's not even it. Then you have to upload and verify you've closed at least 3 VA deals in the last 12 months. So that we can now tell the consumer, if you hire a more certified agent, they're not only trained, military affiliated, but also have experience. That way, whether you're buying or selling a home in Virginia, it's going to be the same experience you're going to get in California.
Sounds like McDonald's.
It's why I'll use it all the time. It's like the Big Mac. So the exciting announcement with more is, after a lot of work and after training, we have 50 agents already certified in key military concentration areas all over the country. We are announcing that we are going public to the consumer on December 8th.
What does that mean, going public to the
It
consumer?
means that we have a website, and then we're going to be launching to the public on December 8th, and we're going to be doing a hard press marketing campaign, and that's when we're going to start connecting the veteran to our more certified agents.
Okay. So that's when the veteran actually. So now you've just been as I've read in some of the books, you've been going through and doing all the practice and the training runs and getting ready. And on the 8th, you're going to actually be able to help somebody.
Yeah, I can't go and say, hey, go hire a more certified agent if we didn't have any more certified agents, huh?
Right. That'll be kind of fun, right?
Right.
So in California, is California one of the, because you said there's 50 people
all over the country. So literally, if you pick a major military concentration area, Norfolk, Virginia, of course, San Diego, Texas, Florida, Kentucky, Fort Knox, we have agents, right? So we have literally, we did a lot of market research and made sure that we have somebody representing every major military concentration area in the country.
So, and that's going to all be on your website.
All on our website. You'll be able to go to our website and go and see where all of our more certified agents are located.
That's good. That's pretty interesting, because now, if I understand correctly, so if I'm a veteran, I want to buy a house through a more certified agent, and there's not one close, I could probably still hire that agent to do everything that my buyer's agent would do. I might just have to find somebody to open the door for the property I want to see.
No, actually, we'll even go so far as to, if you're in an area we don't have one, we will literally go find an agent, vet them, train them, and get them ready so they are certified, so you can use them in your local area.
Well, how did that happen so quickly? I mean, that's
because we have a very robust training plan, and even if they're not certified at the time of us connecting them, we will basically monitor them and make sure that we have quality control systems in place and everything to make sure.
Wow, a military person with systems. That's
right.
A surprise.
Well, I would love to say they're all my systems, but my partners, Chad and Tristan, are the real wizards behind the scene, and they've literally developed everything behind the scenes. So they're crushing it.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well,
so we're going to continue our conversation with Travis Winfield. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Reach us anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. The VA Home Loan Advantage, what every veteran should know right now. If you've served in the military or if your spouse has, you have access to one of the most powerful home buying tools out there, the chance to buy a home without having a down payment. Yes, I said it and I'm right. No down payment. You already made it with your blood, sweat, and tears. So no down payment. Unfortunately, 70% of veterans, 7 out of 10, don't know about this benefit, according to Veterans United, if you believe Veterans United. But that's a different story, and that's a big missed opportunity to those who've earned this benefit through service. So let's break down what you really need to know about Veteran Affairs VA home loans right now. Why VA home loans can be a great option for nearly 80 years. VA loans have made home ownership possible for millions of veterans and active duty service members. Here are just a few of the top perks, according to the Department of Veteran Affairs. Options for zero down payment. Many veterans can buy a home without spending years saving up. Fewer upfront costs. The VA limits which types of closing costs veterans have to pay, helping you keep more cash on hand when you're finalizing your purchase. No private mortgage insurance, PMI. Unlike many other loan types, VA loans do not require PMI, lowering your monthly costs. And oh yeah, I'll just throw this one in that no one's going to tell you. At our team, we give every veteran a $500 lender credit right on their closing statement to help with any of the costs that are there. These features make VA loans a great way for service members or their family to build stability, saving money, and start creating long-term wealth through home ownership. Can you still get a VA loan with the government shutdown? Well, that's going to be almost irrelevant. But lately, there's been some confusion about whether VA loans are still available due to the government shutdown. And that uncertainty has kept some veterans from taking the next step. While there may be processing delays, let's listen to this commentary. There's been a lot of confusion and uncertainty about how a government shutdown will affect VA home loans. The good news is that shutdown has minimal impacts on VA lending. Lenders are still able to order appraisals, obtain a borrower's certificate of eligibility. That's the golden ticket. Submit the VA funding fee and more. In short, veterans are still able to use their home loan benefit to buy a home or refinance an existing mortgage. Just to get this out of the way, the Veterans Affairs does not do loans. They insure a portion of the loan. So when somebody says, well, the VA says they'll do it. No, the VA does help us if we have any questions. They help us as lenders if we want to make some certain challenges that are built into the process. But the VA is not a lender. So despite the headlines, you can still use your VA home loan benefits today. The process is ready when you are. It may just take, might be a little more time on the back end for us, but I don't care. That's all about you. Just remember, using your VA home loan is easier and smoother when you have the right team behind you. As VA News puts it, quote, choose a military-friendly broker or agent who understands the VA home loan application process can make all the difference in the home buying experience. Finding the right agency or brokerage is just as important as locking in a good VA mortgage lender. Communication is key to getting the loan to the closing table, unquote. a knowledgeable agent, such as those that are being trained by our guest Travis Winfield, and an experienced lender like our team, because we have become certified veteran mortgage advisors. That means we had to go through all kinds of training on that as well. It helps you get to the closing table without a lot of questions. It's a shame when I see people that go and they say, well, I'm approved for a VA loan. Okay. Have you seen your certificate of eligibility? No. Okay. Do you have a DD-214? No. Guess what? You got a lender that doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bottom line. And I'm going to tell you that because I am, I just call it straight as an advisor. And I want you to go, whether you come to our team or not, which you should, but go to somebody who's going to get you the right information. You've earned it. If you're a veteran, a VA home loan is one of the most valuable benefits you've earned through your service. It offers options for no down payment, limited closing costs, and more. Want to learn more? Give us a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We want to make sure that you're getting taken care of. That's the bottom line. And if you want, this qualifies under our Second Look Advantage program as well. Now, if you haven't heard about our Second Look Advantage, shame on you. We talk about it all the time. rsrlinks.com/2ndlook, second look. What does that mean? Well, we're going to take a look at any loan estimate you have. And we're going to talk to you. Yes, we talk to you, human to human, not going on some website where they think that you know everything there is to know, because you probably don't. We want to know what your goals, your objectives, your dreams, what are all those things? If we cannot save you money or help you accomplish your goals, we're going to give you a $100 Amazon gift card because we're sure of what we do. We've done it a lot of times. That's a real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation. Travis Winfield is with us. We're chatting. Now, Travis, last time you were here, we were talking about the more operation, but you were also getting ready to launch a book.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the exciting part. That's why I'm there. So it's officially launching tomorrow. For those of y'all watching on YouTube, it's called Military Money and More. And again, dropping on Amazon tomorrow. You can find it at traviswinfield.com, has all the links. But here's the thing, like I want to kind of touch on something. You said a statistic earlier that Veterans United said about 7 out of 10 have ever used their VA home loan. I'll actually argue that there's some statistics say only 12% of eligible veterans. There's 20 million active duty military and veterans in our country. And there's statistics out there saying that only 12% have ever used their VA home loan benefit.
So only 30% know about it, and then only 12% have actually used it.
Exactly. And so what we have is an education thing, and we also have a financial literacy crisis. There's so many people in our industry that actually go and say, hey, go learn about your VA home loan benefit. Well, that's great, but you're really only talking to that 12%, aren't you? Maybe the 30% if they know about it. So what I've discovered through my research is that, believe it or not, over 80% of our veterans are not financially sound enough to purchase a home. And to me, that's a travesty, right? And that's what motivated me to write this book, because the fact is that I want to solve the disease, not the symptom. And the disease is financial literacy, because if you fought for our country, damn it, you deserve to own a piece of it. So that's really my mission. So my goal is to take that 12% and make it 100%. And so the book, we talk about.
I'm going to give you a challenge, Travis.
Tell me what you got.
I've got two friends of mine that both served in the military, both Marines.
Yep.
And I've talked to them till I'm blue in the face that it's cheaper and more efficient for them to get a home with their VA benefit than to go and lease.
Yeah.
And both of them are leasing.
Well, so here's what I say. And when I come across a veteran like that, I'm like, so you don't want to buy a home because you don't want to pay the mortgage, right? And they're like, yeah. Well, I was like, you do realize you're still paying a mortgage. You're just paying somebody else's mortgage.
Right.
And sometimes that makes a light bulb go off. But ultimately, I always just do a comparison. Like right now, if you're paying money on a lease, okay, yes, there's pros and cons, right? If you're only going to be there for a year or so, cool, you might want to be flexible. But I've always said, if you're going to be in a home for more than 2 to 3 years, especially for your active duty component, because did you know with the Civil Relief Act that, you know how if you buy a home, you live in it for 2 of the last 5 years, you don't have to pay capital gains.
Right.
Did you know that while you're on active duty, you get a 10-year extension on that? So imagine that. You can buy a home at every duty station while on active duty. And then when you go to retire, you can liquidate them and have a if you're married, up to a $500,000 profit exemption for each of those homes. That can literally make you a millionaire overnight if you do it the right way. And that strategy is in my book as well.
And you know something, that those are great tidbits, because I know a lot of veterans I've talked to that have said, well, you know something, I'm only going to be here 3 years until I move. PCS, for those of you that don't want the acronym.
Permanent change of station.
So I think we're reversed there, Travis. I'm supposed to do that. That's fine. But then they say, well, then I can't use my benefit again.
Yeah,
True.
there's so many incredible benefits out there serving our military. There's just no marketing budget to tell them they exist. So, for example, our more certified agents with military operated real estate are actually the coursework actually teaches them how to be what's called veteran service officers to an extent. So we don't just teach them how to be real estate agents. We teach them how to be benefits experts for our veterans. So they know all the benefits serving our veterans.
You know something, every time you come in, Travis, and every time I hear you speak, I learn of another benefit that, you know, is not widely known.
Correct.
You know, there's many of them that I know of, but I'm learning more and more that are not widely known. And it's a shame that they aren't, you know, more disseminated.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue our conversation, Travis Winfield. When we come back, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Reach me anytime, off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Continuing our conversation, Travis Winfield is with us. The new author as of tomorrow.
Yeah.
What is it? Military Money and More.
Right.
So it's going to be available on Amazon starting tomorrow. And I'm looking at a copy of the book right there in front of me. Great looking cover, the whole bit.
Thanks, man. Look, let's get it on the show, man.
Yeah, nice. So love it. So, you know, your mission with the book. What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, again, this is all right. So if you think about this, here's some true sad statistics. In the military, we have a 60 to 70% divorce rate. And then this is a real sad statistic. 22 veterans take their lives every single day. And do you know what the number one factor is for both of those categories? Finance. And it's sad, right? Because, you know, and so if we could truly solve this and really solve the disease, I really think we can improve the quality of life of our veterans even more so. Because, I mean, let's be real. People don't join the military to get rich, do they, Ron?
No.
All right. You know,
it's a servant's heart.
Exactly. So, you know, so I'm just really passionate about
you go into politics to get rich.
Right. Exactly. Politics, or, you know, get into business, stuff like that. But you don't join the military to get rich.
Right.
And so in this book, I actually teach strategy on how to build wealth while on active duty. I'll give you a quick example. A lot of people don't understand the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein said this should have been the eighth wonder of the world.
Sure.
Right. So just taking $200 a month. I always jokingly say, hey, can you blow $200 going out once a month? Oh, yeah, of course. Okay. So sacrifice going to party one night a month. Take that $200 and put it in a compound interest account for every month for the next 9 years if you're a 21-year-old. Did you know if you stopped investing at age 30 and you just let it ride until you're 67 and you're retiring, do you know how much money you'd have in your bank account?
For a couple $1 million.
It's $2.5 million, almost $2.6 million. Or alternatively, if you're a late bloomer like me, because in my book I show that I've made every financial mistake you can make. So I'm passing on, true life lessons. Is that if I waited till 30 and started doing $200 a month until 67, I would have lost over $1 million by not starting early. So time is not your friend with investing, but it's also never too late.
That's the key thing right there. So why is it, and how is your plan to start reaching the military men and women to get financially literate? I mean, because when you really think about it, so many people, if the men and women had an MBA already, they're probably not going in the military.
Correct. So we're doing it through multiple. I've been teaching this class honestly for about 5 years, but I feel like it's not been getting the traction, and I haven't had the audience, right? Because people don't want to sit in the class. So I made the decision to figure out how to do it in different modalities. So the book is the first phase, because now you can do it. I'm in the process of doing the audio book because some people like to hear different ways.
Some of us can't read.
Right, exactly.
I got 3 degrees and can't read.
I'm with you. I'm not a big reader myself. And then we're also in the process of converting this in military operated real estate. We're converting this to an online courseware. So it's actually going to also be a class that the veteran can take. Instead, if they're not readers, cool, it's a reference, but we're actually we're going to be doing an online class that they can enroll in as well.
That's wonderful. I mean, the idea there, can you imagine how much better things would get if we've got the community of veterans, and it's a large community. There's a lot of veterans. 20
million in our country.
20 million. We've got about 350 million people in the country, so it's about 7 or 8%.
For the record, only about 6% of our U.S. citizens that ever raised their right hand to serve our country.
6%.
6%.
Wow. It's a small number.
It's a very small number, but that's okay. I'm not here to change the masses. I would love to save everybody, but damn it, I'm going to try to save every one of my veterans.
You know something, that's a big issue, because there's so many organizations and state governments, because I've run across it in my battle with nonprofit organizations, where the state wants you as an organization to serve everybody, instead of saying, let me just be a rifle instead of a shotgun.
Yeah, I want to be strategic. For example, with a military operated real estate or more, we're not trying to hire. There's literally over 150 to 200,000 agents that would qualify to be in our organization. We're not trying to get all of them. We want the special forces of real estate agents that are absolutely passionate about serving those who've served, because I think that if we can be strategic about this, then the quality that's going to be serving our service members, who are pretty much making the largest financial decision of their life, will be to do it. And in the book, Military Money More, don't think it's by accident that more is at the end, because the goal of this book is to take them all the way to home ownership. And we don't stop at just, oh, well, you're not ready now. Because how many times have you tried to qualify somebody and they're not ready now? You probably don't leave them alone, but there's a lot of people who do.
And we pester them until they tell us to stop.
Exactly. And so that's
either buy now or get a game plan. The only time I ever tell somebody I don't want to talk to them is if I suspect fraud.
Concur. And there's a lot of people that actually go after military members as well. And so we are one of the most sought after people to be exploited in the country.
That's why military and seniors.
That's why they have all the payday loan companies are always sitting outside of bases.
Oh, talk about slime balls.
Yeah.
So Military Money and More, it goes on sale tomorrow on Amazon. If you're looking to buy a house, Travis and his group. Now, your website, is that live now, or that's live?
Yeah, the website's live. So traviswinfield.com is actually the hub that'll take you to all my business. So my book, you can book me to speak. You can find the link to military operated real estate. As even if you're looking to buy here in Southern California, the Winfield Group is also there. The more is militaryoperatedrealestate.com. That's militaryoperatedrealestate.com, or you can just go to traviswinfield.com and you'll be able to access everything from there.
Beautiful. Great. I appreciate you coming in. We're going to have you come in some more, and maybe we'll do some of those tidbit things.
Oh, man.
As workshops on Ron Siegel Radio.
Absolutely.
But as always, I ask, hit that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you know a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.